Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So these are my thoughts on the 2-1 win which Chelsea had earlier on today against Newcastle. And I mean, first of all, this was such an important match. I think this was for me this is a six-pointer. Newcastle are one of those teams that are going to be challenging us for that fourth spot to get the to get Champions League football next season, and it's so important to win these home matches as well. But I mean, considering our last two league performances, we got a draw with Forest and a loss against Liverpool. It was so important that we got back to winning ways properly in the league, and it was one hell of a match. I mean, going into this game, it was an interesting dynamic because obviously we're playing Newcastle again on Wednesday, um, and just in general, just for the psyche of going into that match, it was very important that we got a good result and won today. We're now fifth in the league after 9 games, and we're in a very good position. So anyway, on to the lineups. We had Sanchez in goal. We had Reece on the left-hand side, which was a bit of a surprise. I would have preferred him on the right, but either way, we had Colwell and Fofana as our two centre backs, and we had Gusto on the right. We again went with a midfield of Lavia and Caicedo, which was a really good idea. I thought they were great in dealing with the physicality of that Newcastle midfield. We had Cole Palmer again just in front of them, Madueke on the right, Jackson up top, and I'm really happy to say this. We had Neto on the left. Neto's a player who, ever since we signed him, I really, really look forward to seeing how good he was going to be playing for Chelsea, and he's been excellent recently, and he's gotten that deserved start. And into the first half, and we almost had the perfect start in the first 7-8 minutes. I mean, the level which our attack is playing at the moment is incredible to watch. We are cutting through opposition like they're nothing. Jackson has the ball. He threw balls at Palmer's and threw on goal, and you know he's never going to miss. You always expect him to score. He then slots into the other side of the goal past Pope, and you're thinking incredible. We're 1-0 up. The game's just started. Let's just try and carry on and move on. Obviously, it gets pulled back because he gets caught. Like the VAR, the people at VAR draw their strange little lines, and he gets called as offside. I don't know if it's actually offside. I don't trust these officials to kind of draw lines properly. I personally cannot wait for them to bring in these automated offsides. I don't know why we haven't. We were supposed to have brought them in at the start of the season, but the Premier League are consistently delaying it for unknown reasons. But either way, it was given as offside, and what happens a lot of the time when this sort of thing happens, it stops the momentum it stops your momentum, and then maybe the game can change. But after this call was given, we just got better and better and better. We continued dominating the match, and we looked incredible. Around the 17th minute, just outside of our own box, Palmer has the ball and he turns, and the vision he had to see Neto, and then the precision he had to get the ball perfect. His ball hit Palmer's pass. I don't think there's enough words to describe how incredible it was, and he's still not going to get an assist for it, which is the most brutal thing about the sport. His pass cuts through about three or four, I think maybe actually 4 or 5 Newcastle players, cuts through them all, completely opens them up. With Neto's speed, he's able to get the ball before the Newcastle players and pass the ball across the goal. And Jackson, great finish. I mean, the vision and the accuracy that Palmer showed, it was remarkable. He's the best player in the Premier League right now, one of the best players in the world, and he's proving it week in week out how good he is. But that ball, that ball, I don't know how he was able to actually. It was incredible what he did, and then the speed at which Neto got onto the ball and controlled it and took it past a Newcastle player was exactly why I want him to start more and more matches and be the main left winger for us. And then Jackson, last season, I think he would have missed that. This is one thing I'm really impressed with. Jackson's finishing in the last 6 months has improved drastically. I mean, it's quite wild. Last season, I think he would have missed that. Maybe he would have hit it off target, or he would have passed it to Pope. Just slots it in the corner. We're 1-0 up, and you're just thinking, brilliant. Let's just try and kill this game off. but naturally, as the time progressed, around I'll say from minute 23, 24, Newcastle were getting better and better and better. They were seeing opportunities, and our defense is just so. I don't want to say our defense is bad. Our defense is so frustrating. We seem to have a habit at the moment of it doesn't matter who we play, doesn't matter which defenders we play. We give away such pointless goals. And it's a combination of our goalkeeper not being good enough, and then the defenders not feeling comfortable and not really having the trust in him. But we give up so every match we seem to be conceding goals that are so pointless, that are so frustrating that if I feel sorry for the attackers in this team. So later on in that half, Newcastle get their goal, and it all stems from losing the ball in the midfield, and then when Harvey Barnes gets the ball at the edge of the box, no one goes out to stop him. All the players seem to be backing off. This is the frustrating about this defense is I feel none of them go forward to try and close the angle down. They all seem to back off constantly. So Harvey Barnes, no one goes to kind of block him down. They back off from him. He passes the ball to Lewis Hall again. No one tries. We don't do enough. Gusto doesn't do enough to block the cross, and then between Fofana and Colwell, Newcastle's best player is Isak. He is a phenomenal player. He's outstanding in the box. He's the type of player you need to have your full focus on. Keep your eye on and make sure you know where he is. Somehow, between our two centre backs, no one noticed, and between our two centre backs and Reece actually as well, no one noticed Isak. No one noticed him in the box. So when Lewis Hall, lovely that was an ex-Chelsea academy player and an ex-Chelsea player, kicks the ball into the box, which again wasn't really blocked by Gusto. Isak then has an easy finish, and it's frustrating because we look so good going forward, but our Achilles heel is we are just conceding so many pointless goals this season. I mean, last week against Liverpool, their second goal, poorly defended. Sanchez didn't come out and fast, could easily have come out and smothered it. Didn't. We concede and we lose. Forest goal, it was really poor. Even last week in Greece, the goal we conceded was really poor defensive work. Like, I feel we have top 2 attacks in the league when you consider the depth that we have, but we also have one of the worst. Maybe not one of the worst defenses, because I still think the defense we have some brilliant players in that defense, but it's just not working, and it's a combination of. I stand by it. We had a better goalkeeper. I feel we'd have a much better defense. But anyway, we go into halftime 1-0. We go into halftime 1-0, and if you're Maresca, you've got to be frustrated because your attack looks amazing, but once again your defense has let you down. So we go out for the second half, and within 2 minutes, we were already 2-1 up. I mean, this is just, it was incredible. I mean, this was excellent work, excellent defensive work from Colwell and from Lavia to dispossess Newcastle, and then Lavia to get the ball to Palmer. But then Palmer runs from about the halfway line down to the other end of the pitch, into their box, and he just has a shot. And I don't know if it's the pace, the power, or what happened, but he somehow got the ball past Nick Pope. And Nick Pope, I still think is an amazing goalkeeper. But this was just this. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. How our attack is so good. Our attack is the best part of this team by a long way. But this was great defensive work to get this opportunity. I mean, I don't think there's enough. So much of it has been said about Cole Palmer already. He's incredible. He's the face of this team. He's the face of this club at the moment. I still find it incredible. I find it wild how last summer, he didn't want to leave Man City. He wanted to just go out on loan somewhere, just play a bit, and then come back. They told him that he had to be sold or stay, and he backed himself enough to go to Chelsea at the time, and we were a mess when he came to us. But to come to us, and he just thought he backed himself enough, and now he's the face of this football club. And he's just incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible. He was obviously very unlucky in the first half, where his goal was maybe millimetres offside. Then this next goal, he gets a pre-assist. Obviously, it doesn't count towards his assists. So I'm so happy that he got his goal to put us ahead, which ultimately won us the match. Well, after we did this, I properly assumed we were going to then kick on. I really, really thought we'd kick on and then score two or three. And we had a spell of about 10, 15 minutes after this at most, where we were just relentless. We kept pushing forward. We kept dispossessing them. We never really created that many opportunities, but we really pinned them back in their own half. And we were having these great passes between each player. We were cutting through their lines. Again, didn't really create that much. But like, it was, I think, up until maybe the 70 something minute, it just felt like, okay, it's only a matter of time before we score the third, the fourth, and we kill the game off. Obviously, that never happened. We had one opportunity where Madueke gets the ball, crosses the ball into the box, and Neto out jumps Livramento, and is extremely unlucky to hit the post. But other than that, we didn't really create that much. And actually, in reality, I think the best opportunities came in Newcastle after we went 2-1 up. There were three huge moments defensively. I'm hugely critical of our defence, but they were excellent in the second half. Whatever Maresca said to them really just stuck with them. I say defence because goalkeeper, whenever he had the ball, I personally felt really uncomfortable, and I'm sure that entire defence, they just seemed like they felt uncomfortable, like they didn't quite trust him. So we desperately need to get a new goalkeeper, or try one of the other 5 goalkeepers that we have. But Reece James, I think he's been criticised a lot this week, and by Maresca especially, about not stepping up as a captain. Well, today was a captain's performance. Some of the defensive headers he did on the line, or just to block the ball, were just incredible. There was one where they go past Gusto. I think it might be Isak who chips the ball over Sanchez, and Reece is just there to head the ball off the line. In the last minute of the match, I think before their last corner, Reece is there just to block the ball, just to head it out. So he really was. I mean, this was his first 90 minutes in a long time, and it was great to see. And hopefully he'll be playing more now. But yeah, it was the last. I think the last 15 minutes of that match were very. They were very unenjoyable. They were horrible to watch. They were very stressful as a fan, and you could just, yeah, you could kind of feel Newcastle really beginning to build momentum, because we'd obviously dominated up until around the 70th minute, and then Newcastle just kind of realised they were still in it, and they began to just create more, become more aggressive, but just begin to dominate, which was really testing on the defence. I think the last thing I'll talk about is the penalty incident. I didn't think it was a penalty originally, but when it was given, I was surprised it was overturned. I was shocked. I don't really know what their what their high bar is. I think it's one of those that if the referee gives it should stick with that decision. I'm still yet to see a referee go to a monitor and stick by his original decision. But yeah, I didn't think it was a penalty, but I'm still surprised that it was overturned. I thought it was one of those where if the ref didn't give it, the VAR wouldn't have overturned it. I am very shocked that after the ref did give it, I'm very shocked that VAR did overturn it. But anyway, we somehow survived that match, and now we play Newcastle again. So that's lovely. I think it's the EFL Cup. Yeah, it's the EFL Cup that we play them at next, which is this time up in Newcastle. I would love to beat them 2 times in a row. That would be a great feeling, and to really start to build momentum. We're playing United next weekend, Arsenal the following weekend, so we've got 2 difficult fixtures coming up. I mean, Ten Hag, and we're playing at Old Trafford, which again we don't have a great record at. And then obviously we got Arsenal at home, and I definitely want to beat them. But yeah, Newcastle on Wednesday. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all after that match.